Hey, all right. How we doing today? Just checking in and got something kind of fun to talk about today. Um, I, I'll be honest. I went to church today, and this isn't going to get preachy or anything. If people aren't into church, that's to each their own. It's okay. But the talk today was kind of about bouncing back. New year, and so I wanted to kind of talk about that as we start the day today, and we'll kind of go through this week. And we talk a lot about setting goals and New Year's resolutions and those kind of things. But um, if you have those ideas and you want to set them up, then by all means you should go for it. Um, this week I wanted to just kind of talk about some of the tools we have already in our toolkit and why we need to use them. So, a couple different things. First is just this idea of bouncing back. I think a lot of us had, a little bit of a difficult year last year, and no matter what your circumstances were, even if you felt like you had a really good year, there were definitely some things that affected it. My family and I were able to do some things that, um, you know, we hadn't done in the past that were really positive, but there were also things like, me not being able to go into school to work and working from home and navigating that. That was something that was difficult. But still very lucky that, I had work. My boys had to do school from home, and, that was something that was difficult for them and for their teachers to try and figure out how to do that. So, anyway, we all have these different things that were difficult for us in this past year. If you know somebody who got sick, if you know somebody who lost a job, there's all kinds of different things. And so in 2021, we want to just look at how we can bounce back. And one of the things that was brought up in this talk today was that, there are lots of people that have failed and then bounced back. And, if they would have just given up, then, we wouldn't have some of the amazing things that we have today. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, she was rejected 12 times before somebody took that first manuscript and published it. For the first Harry Potter book. So again, if you're somebody who enjoys Harry Potter, think about those 12 people who rejected her. And if she would have said, even after the first or second one, you know what, maybe this just isn't good enough, I'm not going to pursue it. We wouldn't have that in our lives now. And, that's something that's very unique to her that nobody else probably would have written that exact same type of story and given us, that joy. I know I enjoy them. I've been able to read them to my boys. And so that's something that's impactful. There's other people certainly too. We can look at athletes that have bounced back. One of the classic examples is Michael Jordan. Really, I think that one's not the best example. He tried out for his varsity team as a freshman and got cut. Everybody says he got cut from his high school basketball team. He still made the JV team. But again, if his goal was to make varsity and, he was mad that the coach didn't do that. And I think a lot of people who know a bit about Michael Jordan maybe would say, okay, well, so he would have just played baseball. And, maybe he would have been a great baseball player had he been playing from that time on, but, it may not have worked out for him. So again, you bounce back, you try again, and you work on getting better. And there's lots of different examples like that. And so in this new year, we want to try and bounce back and become better. And, I think we can definitely do that. The thing that then you have to use is we have a lot of tools in order to get better. So, if you have a planner, which the school gave you, okay, or if you're somebody who uses a planner, or you use a calendar on your phone, you have to take that and you actually have to use it. It's great to have it as a tool, but if it just stays in your toolbox all the time and you never use it, then you're not getting the most out of it. Same thing goes for if you have exercise equipment at home and it's just sitting there collecting dust. Is it helping you get stronger? It's not. And so, again, if we're not going to use those tools that have worth to us and to our health and to our well-being for school and for our physical well-being, then, why do we have them? If you got a bicycle and you know how to ride a bike and you have a family members who are willing to go do that with you, it's not doing you any good if it's just collecting dust in the garage. Maybe it needs to be fixed. You got to step up and try and find a way to make that happen. And so, that's part of the way we're going to bounce back, and that's part of what we want to talk about this week is what are the different tools you have in your toolkit that maybe have been collecting some dust over the last year or even over the last couple months because, we're busy with holidays, or, we're just feeling frustrated with the fact that we're still not back to normal yet. Whatever your case might be, we need to figure out what are these tools that we have that we can use to move forward and be stronger in the new year. And again, if that's writing goals or making a New Year's resolution, again, that's great. And, I hope people will do that. I'm kind of taking a different approach this year and writing some looser, 2021 things that I want to try and get to. And I'm going to try, and my biggest goal is to try and kind of journal about it and reflect each day to know how I did. Am I meeting those goals? How am I actually doing just on a day-to-day basis, and giving myself more updates that way. I've been finding that if I set a goal that's big and broad and I don't think about it constantly, then, it gets forgotten about. So that's kind of what this week our talks are going to be about. Let's bounce back in 2021. Let's not be down about some of those things that, were so hard, and, they still are. I know things aren't back to normal, but again, do we have ways to do better? And I think we do, and I think we can help continue to set you up for that, and we want to continue to work toward that. So, again, think about somebody that whether it's a famous person or even a family member who's had a bounce back story. They tried something, it didn't work out. They tried something else, and they made it work out for them, and they've done better for it. Maybe somebody's right in the middle of that bounce back story. Maybe they've had a job for a long period of time, and now they're going back to school. What does that bounce back look like right now? Again, if you're in the middle of it, it might look like it's difficult, but you got to understand what the end goal is. And then, again, start thinking about some of the tools you have laying around. If you're looking at your grades as a student, do you have the materials there that can help you? As teachers, I'm looking at, do I have all the tools I have? What haven't I been using? What can I do more of in order to get better in this new year to help students and to grow as a teacher and to be better when we actually do get back in person, because it's going to be very different than what we've been doing. Okay, so again, tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about maybe some nutrition, and then we're going to look at fitness, sports, as some people have been missing out on that. And we'll kind of go down a little bit of a list this week, what tools you might have laying around at home that we can get back to using, and again, kind of go through a little bit of a how-to, how we can do that. But again, the theme is let's bounce back this week, let's bounce back this year, month, and make 2021 better than 2020, even though right now, some of it still is looking the same. Okay, so look forward to talking with you guys more again this week later on. So thank you guys so much.